So what's good, homies? It's your man, Dr. BOA. Toxicity seems to be the comfort zone of the majority of women in America, or Western society as a whole. Women seem to enjoy toxic relationships more than they enjoy emotionally, financially, and mentally stable relationships. So this concept that women prefer bad guys or bad boys over good guys, no, that's not necessarily true. Women prefer toxic relationships over stable relationships. And those quote unquote bad guys are the ones who provide the toxicity in the relationships that women flock to so much. Now, somebody sent me a video on IG of this guy interviewing this chick, man, and she was all gaga goo goo about how she was so enthralled in her toxic relationship and how she felt empty when she was in a stable relationship with a stable, level-headed guy. I want you men to understand this. It is not for you to become a bad boy. It is for you to let those women who want a bad boy go and have a bad boy, and you continue to be the man you are. Never listen to these guys who tell you that you need to stop being a nice guy overall. No, just stop being a nice guy to women. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, there are 5 reasons that women embark upon these toxic relationships and embrace them as normal and brag about them, talk about them, embrace them, treat them as if they're the quality of life that everyone should aspire to. Many women have emotional scars from never being taught how to give and receive love. So they have no idea what love feels like. They have no idea what love looks like. They're just basing it on the concept of people saying, hey, I love you, or people who are supposed to love you. Let's say if you had an abusive parent, but in your mind as a child, your parent loves you. They may possibly tell you that after the abuse, but you think that that's how love is supposed to look. That's how love is supposed to feel. And many of these women are dealing with that particular scenario now. Many of these girls were the daughters of single mothers who brought multiple men around as quote unquote boyfriends or stepdads or, whatever they want to call them, whatever label they want to give these guys. And these guys end up, not having any type of spiritual bond to these girls and not being really great guys. And so they end up doing a lot of abusive things to these girls, sometimes sexual abuse, sometimes mental abuse, all the time emotional abuse. And so you have to understand that when a girl is in an environment and her mother is has gravitated toward another man and that man is in her life playing the father's role, not many people are okay or would prefer a stepdad over their real dad. You understand what I'm saying? And if the guy's not willing to try really hard to fit into that stepdad role, then it's going to be detrimental to that child's development, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally into an adult. Let's take a listen to this video, man, and then we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
Toxic relationships more fun?
I feel like toxic relationships are more fun. I was with somebody who gave me everything, was good to me, let me do whatever I want whenever I wanted. I felt empty inside. I felt lonely. I felt empty. I felt like a hole inside of me. But I feel like now, you know what I'm saying, my man's a little toxic and stuff, but the sex is good. And yeah, I just feel more emotionally connected to that person because we go through certain things and then we make up, So it's it's pretty toxic.
So you like bad guys?
No.
Yeah, I mean that's what it sounds like. You said you had a man, right? He was good to you, right? He helped teach you certain things and everything was good, but you still felt it was like an emptiness there. It was like lack of passion or something like that.
Yeah.
Right, but then now the bad guy, he more like he's going to give you the drama. No, I think. Do you think that like you're attracted to drama? Like you want the drama in your
No,
life?
I really don't think that though. I don't think I'm attracted to drama.
Well, you just said you, but you say your man that you with now is more toxic than the man that you was with. But this man brings a. Is it more exciting to you? Is it like? Well, tell me, like, what do you think it is? Let's dive deep in this. Tell me, like, talk to me, like, tell me what you mean, like, what is it? Like, is it? You know, obviously he do things differently than the. It's something that's keeping you. It's something.
No, it's
that's
definitely the passion. Like it's definitely like I feel alive. Like you know what I mean?
like when you wake up, is it like a difference? Like if you wake up and you feel like, all right, what I'm going, like I don't know what today's gonna bring. What the other one?
No, I think I think I feel more connected. Like I said, because we have gone.
And I know some beta male, some man Johnny gonna come in here and say, "Well, Dr. BOA, the woman is hurt. You got to heal the woman, Dr. BOA. You're supposed to be a man. You always talking about leadership. You always talking about leadership. Well, lead that woman out of the abyss of pain and lead her to the promised land, Dr. BOA. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be the strong man of God. If you following God, then the woman can follow you, Dr. BOA, but you don't want to lead her. You know why, Dr. BOA? Because if you try to lead her and she don't follow, then you know that means that you ain't following God. If you say you're supposed to be a leader, the woman's supposed to follow you no matter what, Dr. BOA, no matter what she thinks, no matter what kind of scars she got, Dr. BOA. Let me tell you something. Every woman I ever had, Dr. BOA, done. Well, none of them follow me, Dr. BOA, but I know what I'm talking about anyway. You know what, Dr. BOA? I ain't got time for you no more. Unsubscribe. Okay, unsubscribe, sucker. But before you go, let me tell you this. This isn't an attack on these women. This is just the fact that these women prefer these toxic relationships because this is what they think is normal. This is what their lives are based on, man. They believe that a man should be abusive to them. They believe that they should be abusive to a man. They believe that breaking up to make up is logical because the problem is they don't just need to be healed from the pain they're experiencing in a relationship. They need constant healing, constant feel good. They need a constant source of validation, a constant source of self-esteem boosting. And they get that by creating these toxic dynamics and then healing from it and then making up and then being lovey-dovey. These women need lovey-doveyness all the time, but they're so toxic in their brains and they invite such toxicity into their own lives that they themselves cannot even embrace the all day, all the time goodness of a stable-minded, even killed, laid back type of guy. And that's a problem. Matter of fact, that's the main problem with the modern relationship. Women and men living in an environment of complete toxicity. Another thing is past physical and mental and emotional abuse have rendered her incapable of functioning as a normal adult. Everything she does is based on her past trauma. Everything she thinks is based on her past trauma. How she interacts with men, how she interacts with women, how she interacts with the world, how she interacts with money, how she interacts with her own children. All of those things are based on her past traumas. And not many women are bold enough or actually, self-concerning enough to even seek counseling, seek the counseling that they need. They'll try a whole bunch of other things, but they won't seek the counseling that they need. And of course, we know they don't know God. They're too busy hanging out in church. The third reason is having parents who tried to show her love through gifts and trinkets and treasures. Now, I know you've all heard about these scenarios. Maybe some of you guys have experienced these scenarios where you have parents around, but they don't have any type of emotional connection to you. You live in the lap of luxury. You live an amazing life, but you have no emotional connection to your parents. And so when it comes to needing a mother or needing a father, you don't have that. What you have is two people that are willing to buy you whatever you want to have, send you wherever you want to go, bail you out of whatever trouble you get in. But unbeknownst to them, you're getting in that trouble because you want to be noticed. You want to know that someone cares. And if you grow up like that, by the time you become an adult, anyone who you even think cares, you're going to fall head over heels in love with them. Why? Because you need to be loved. Many women can't be loved because they've gone so long needing to be loved that they don't even know what love is or feels like. They just want someone to make them feel good. I tell you guys that all the time. The majority of women you meet just want someone to make them feel good. You can give her the world, but if someone else makes her feel good, she's going to forego all of those things you've given her or risk those things in order to go over there and feel good because she doesn't need a realistic good life, a realistic good feeling. She needs pacification for the pain that she's experienced in the past. And a lot of women that you meet just aren't going to be able to admit that because they haven't accepted that. And then a lot of times they don't even know that. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of times these women have no idea why they gravitate toward these type of men or these type of scenarios. And they have no understanding that the men who want these type of scenarios are just as scarred as they are. So you have too many scarred people trying to get together and heal each other. The problem with being a scarred person trying to heal someone is how are you going to heal someone when you're not even healed? You know what I'm saying? How are you going to heal someone without even being healed? How are you going to feed someone when you're starving? How are you going to nurse someone back to health when you laid up in a hospital bed? The blind leading the blind. The hurt healing the hurt. Another thing, and this is a big one, because some of you guys have experienced this as well. I know I have. Watching your mom being abused or abusive or both. The worst kind of relationship is the mutually toxic relationship where two people just beat the hell out of each other and then they're back together all lovey-dovey. Where there's no one-sided abuse. Two people just fight like cats and dogs and then they're back together. The chick in this video says getting into it in order to make up is one of the best parts, is one of the main reasons she's, attracted to these toxic relationships. So let's stop blaming the men for this. Let's stop saying that she's attracted to Pookie and Ray Ray, or she's attracted to, shout out to Pookie and Ray Ray, that she's attracted to, thugs, or that she's attracted. No, she's attracted to the type of scenarios that she can have with those guys. See, a woman wants a toxic scenario. She wants drama. So she wants a man who is not going to let her say whatever she wants to say, but she knows she's going to try to say whatever she wants to say. That's why a lot of these guys are in prison right now. A lot of these guys are on probation right now. A lot of these guys are just getting out of prison right now because they were dealing with these same type of women who needed you to lash out at them. If a woman grows up in an abusive household, then she feels like abuse is the way that a man shows love. And it's the way that she shows love as well. If a man grows up in an abusive household, then he feels like abusing a woman is the way he shows love. And he saw his mother stay with the man who was abusing her. And so he believes that this is how you keep a woman. This is how you build a loving relationship with a woman. The problem is everybody's talking about love. Everybody's looking for love, but nobody knows how to give it. And that's the main thing that we're dealing with in this particular society. Not many people know what giving love means. Another reason, seeing examples of long-term toxic relationships. See, a toxic relationship is a toxic relationship, but a long-term toxic relationship will lead anyone who's young and impressionable to believe that this is the type of relationship that you should aspire to, that this is what relationships are made of. We all hear, relationships have their ups and downs. No relationship is perfect. Everybody have problems. Everybody get in their arguments. All couples fight. Man, that's bull. That's bull. That makes no sense. The fact that we'll take all of those negative outlooks and embrace them and say that this is what a relationship is supposed to be. No, all of those relationships are toxic. But with that being the mantra that we're taught and that we continue to perpetuate ourselves to our own children, then we have to understand that we're in a society where bad relationships are the norm. Bad relationships are considered good. All of the toxic qualities of a relationship are just labeled as part of a relationship. But this is just what you got to go through. And this is the main thing. We're all told that getting over those things and getting past those things is what shows the strength of a relationship, what shows the strength of a couple's love. Man, that's nonsense. It's absolute and total nonsense for any of us to be sitting around here believing that we're supposed to be in this toxic scenario and that no matter what happens, as long as we make it through the backside of it, then the toxicity was worth it. What about the scars that come from that toxicity, man? It doesn't matter if we make it through to the other end, we still have the scars remaining. And then the problem is too many people move on to the next relationship without taking care of the scars from the past relationship. That's why you meet a woman and you got to jump through hoops to prove yourself to her. Man, let me tell you something. This is the main thing I tell you guys about how to avoid women who have those scars from toxicity in their past relationships. Never prove yourself to a woman. Never prove your self-worth. Never prove your value. Never prove your honesty. Never prove your trustworthiness. She has no reason to believe you're not any of those things. You just do what you do. Be honest. Be trustworthy. Keep it 100. And anytime she doesn't believe you, that's on her. See, these men want to perpetuate this idea that you have to meet these scarred women, these women who are experiencing trauma, long-term trauma, long-standing trauma from their toxic relationships of the past, that you should be there to help heal them from that. You understand what I'm saying? And that's just not realistic. And this is the problem. Many women hate themselves and subconsciously feel the need to be punished. They hate themselves. It's hard to punish yourself, but they hate themselves. There's something about themselves that they can't come to grips with, that they can't embrace, that they can't love. And so what do? They feel like they deserve to be treated a certain way subconsciously. Now, what happens in return is that they feel like they need to treat you a certain way as well. If you in a relationship with one of these toxic women, man, the toxicity is going to take you down from where you are. It's going to suppress your alpha energy. It's going to suppress your masculinity. It's going to pull you into a completely emotional state because she needs to engage in debate and arguing and confrontation in order to get that makeup feeling, in order to get that feeling of no matter what I do, I'm loved. Those types of things. You see, after a life history of instability, of working through tough times continually, she doesn't want stability. She wants drama. And then she wants to work through that drama. And then she wants more drama. And then she wants to work through that drama. And then she wants more drama. And it's a continual cycle, a never ending cycle. This is what she wants. So she's bored in a relationship that could be considered perfect. She's bored in a relationship without toxicity. She's bored in a relationship without drama and trauma. She's bored in a relationship where a man treats her like she matters because she doesn't even matter to herself. And she can't overcome that. So the even-keeled, level-headed man brings way too much stability into the life of a woman who needs toxicity. See, she needs the toxicity to show up regularly so she won't have to go too long without the disappointment and struggle in her life. She's gotten so used to disappointment and struggle in her life that she needs that toxicity to be there, to show up. She needs it to be normal in her life so she won't run the risk of being surprised by it after a long time of just relaxed environment and living a good life and all of these things. You know, that normalcy thing that we talked about earlier. The majority of women in the West, especially, and increasingly throughout the rest of the world, especially in those countries that have been majorly influenced by the West, these women need toxicity. Why? Because it's normal. And women love routine. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.